So we're going back to the basic in this talk, talking about the missing components in blockchain in general, which is decentralized control of your data. So I'm Kurt Nielsen, I'm co-founder of this project. There's a lot of work behind this. We've been around, we have been building decentralized applications since 2008, before Bitcoin. We have been working on this network for the past 4 to 5 years, and I'll now try to give you an idea of what we are actually doing here. So I'll go back to the basic, as I mentioned. So in any economy, the basic game is an exchange game, the exchange of services and goods for money. And that's basically a game that breaks down unless you have enforcement. So that's what you have, the national states come in there, you have the legal system, and then it actually works, so you get rid of these bad outcomes that people keep the good and don't pay. So that we can also solve with blockchain, and we're doing that for sure. But what about the data involved in all of this matching and on all the trades in there? This is kind of the bigger problem. So if we go back, and this is all about the digital economy and trust. So in any way, how do you coordinate the economy, whether you have a market-driven decentralized economy or have you centralized control, you will have informational problems in there. You lack information. And that we try to solve. So we have these aggregators that collect data and try to make sense of that in order to solve these basic information problems. So the economy is just a series of these exchange games. So what we have here, if you look and search, where's the bigger interest here? There's almost an equal competition in interest behind artificial intelligence and privacy. So we have these competing things. We need to find solutions so we can have both, and that's what we're bringing. The thing is that if you look at the most trusted institution in the world, those that run all these data, collect all the data, are the least trusted institution. That are the international, global companies, the governments, and etc. What we're doing here is Web3, and Web3 is about decentralized control of ownership. But it's also, and that's what we're bringing, decentralized control of data. So that's basically what we are adding to this. And if you have these two sort of tools, these two components, decentralized ownership and decentralized control of data, you have exactly what you need for any infrastructure to solve the basic economic problems that was on the previous slides. So that's what we are set down to solve, and this is the team that is solving this. We've been working on this for quite some time. One of the co-founders, Ivan Damgaard, you know for the Merkle-Damgaard hash function. We know that pretty essential for the entire blockchain. He was also doing the basic resource in MPC, multi-party computation. And it's these two decentralized technology that we merge into a single unified network. So since 2008, we have been building these decentralized applications, from doing key management, doing auctions, doing a lot of things. And we're now bringing this to the entire world through this open source network, where you can go in, script smart contracts, and use this advanced technology directly. And I will come back to how this also facilitates interoperability. So let's just a little bit short look back at the main net, what we're doing here. So we basically claim that we are solving what we call the extended trilemma. So the trilemma is basically solved by the first one, the scalability. So it comes with very fast sort of eager block producing. It's based on BFT style consensus. It has instant finalization. It has complete sharding across all of this. So you don't have a mempool in there, for example. So you have the constant prices. There's no surge pricing when you run into congestion in the network. There's interoperability, which is come back to the token economy, because you don't pay with the token that we're selling. You're paying with external liquid coins in the economy that is brought into the network and used as means of payment. I'll get back to that. And the basic value proposition is privacy. That's what we have been doing for decades, and that's what we're bringing in with this network. Behind this, there's a number of innovations, and we are trying to sort of articulate this using some Greek gods. So we have some fast, provable fast track consensus. We have this complete sharding, the scalability. We have a complete one-to-one collateralized bridging of external tokens. We have zero knowledge layer, which is a matter of doing regulatory compliant privacy. We have the whole privacy machinery in there, so you can come and do that with the unified public-private smart contract that allow you to go in from a public to a private space in the same smart contracts. And then we have it all based on a market for trust. So it's not proof of stake, it's not the most richest that is going to be the most trusted, it's actually the most trusted node that is going to be the most powerful nodes. And that's both in terms of relative performance in the P2P network, and it's also about the users coming in and assessing the nodes themselves. So that's kind of some of the very brief, some of the technology that is in this in the network. This is the very core part of the network. It's a very core part of the business model. It's a decoupled token economy. So we are selling an MPC token. That MPC token can be used for staking. And it's kind of an entry barrier to run a node. If you run a node, then you also become part of a stream of rewards, of fees that is coming in from people using the network. And those rewards or those fees are paid in external coins. It could be ETH, it could be ADA, it could be Bitcoin, it could be external coins from any existing blockchain out there. So values that is immediately liquid, you can just go and use it. So what it does, this decoupled, is that a number of things. So you have a decoupled token economy between the objectives of a store of value as well as a means of payment. And you also have, which I'll come back to, a way to facilitate collaboration with other networks. So we can, even though we are layer 1, and there's a number of reasons why we are a layer 1 and not a layer 2, we have an economic alignment like if we were a layer 2. And that's actually part of this illustration here. So we already have partners. We have integrated with Ethereum. We are integrated with Polygon. We are working with Cardano and a number of other networks to do exactly this. So what we're doing here is that we are bringing in the tokens used as means of payment on the Partisia blockchain. The Partisia blockchain provides privacy-preserving computation. With a cross smart contract operation, you use the Partisia blockchain for your privacy components. So you don't have to move your entire application into the Partisia blockchain. You can do that. You don't have to do that. And then you basically sit where you are and you bring in this new functionality, this new tool of handling privacy in your applications. Get back to some of the applications and what we can actually use this for. So what we have now is version 3 of this network that is live. We have been live since the beginning of June. And we are building sort of components, since we believe in this open innovation and also known as combinatorial innovation. So you can come in, you can pick up these components. So you have public version and private version of some basic functionalities. You can come in, you can combine these in different ways and solve problems. Give me just one example, Uniswap there. So front running is an issue in automated market makers. So the node that is implementing the actual trades, they could actually look into the trade that is going to be executed. They can see what is happening, will the price go up, go down, and they could actually potentially place a bid. Low bid, sell low, buy high. With this, you will not be able to see as a node operator what you're implementing, whether you're implementing a price that goes up or goes down. So you solve the front-running problem just by taking one of these components, build that into Uniswap. That's it. A number of these kind of things where you take the bits and pieces and put them together in new ways. That's basically what combinatorial innovation is all about. For the last part of the talk, I'll talk about a few applications that we're working on. And the first one is, actually I would talk a little bit about some major classes of applications that you can now solve with the privacy. One thing is advertisement. You are now in control of your data. You have bargaining power. You can claim a fair share of the profit generated. Self-sovereign identity. You can have your ID, all your private data sitting there in an extended wallet solution, and you can put that to work and prove things about you, not sharing your data, but just prove that you're above 18, that you have a COVID certificate, whatever you need to prove. We have data exchange. You can exchange data, but now you're not exchanging data yet. You're exchanging the use of your data, which is a very different thing. So you can keep selling your own data in the sense that selling the use of your own data again and again. You become part of the revenue stream because you have the bargaining power. You're in control of your data. You can do matching markets, financial services. I think the Uniswap is a good example of that. In general, the whole thing is designed so it's regulatory compliant. It's designed with the GDPR requirements in the back of our minds. So it fulfills all the requirements in the GDPR, one of the strictest requirements on data security. So looking at one of these applications, this was one of the first projects that we built called Instars. It's all about data exchange. So here you have the users now in control of the data. You have a token economy. So you put these data, you have people coming in wanting to buy the use of these data, not the data itself, but the use, and they get tokens back. And they can keep doing that again and again. So that's, and in this case, it's actually built together with social networks, so you have some more network effects. But that's basically what it does, and we have 250,000 users on this. And there's a number of ways to extend that kind of businesses with this network. Another solution is advertising. We mentioned that earlier. So a lot of things is going on here. You are a data subject that is sold in the advertisement market. So maybe you go to a website. Someone wants to show you an advertisement. Your data is sent to some advertisers that bids on the right to show you an advertisement. So that's what we do here. You are now in control of your data. You replace your private data in the specific context with a persona that is sent now to that auction market where you are sold as a data subject, and you get that advertisement, and that's it. That's the advertisement market where you are in control of your data, and thereby you get a fair share of the profit. Otherwise, you're not participating. So it's cryptographical enforcement of your data and your bargaining power. The last one is actually a project that was started out like a COVID passport collaboration in an African context. It turns out to be actually a self-sovereign identity solution where you are in control of the privacy. So as mentioned earlier, you have your private data there. You can prove things about these data. So in this context, it was all about proving that you had a certificate or had a vaccination for COVID without disclosing a lot of your health data and your personal data and all that. So that can be used. This is an application that we'll use as a component for a number of the services that we build, and everyone can come in and use that, because it's kind of the starting point we probably need in many services to identify ourselves, and we can do that without compromising on privacy, which is what we are solving for, basically. So with that, that's what's basically the presentation of the Partisia blockchain. So what we're doing here is two things. We are now running a developer program and invite everyone to go to the website so you can sign up. We have a hackathon coming up in Paris. That's nice prizes for people that come in and use this new tool, build new services. And the other thing I just want to mention, since I have another minute, is that I mentioned collaboration with NGO, which is a big part of what we have been doing. Earlier today, we announced another collaboration, which is with the International Committee of Red Cross. Here we are using the privacy computation to bring in cash or stable coins into crisis zones as a stable coin, and without exposing the identity of the recipient of these tokens, because they're sitting there in a vulnerable situation in a crisis zone. So if they are exposed as a person that receives a lot of money, they will be even more vulnerable. So that's what we're solving, collaboration with the International Committee of Red Cross. And with that, I'm out of time, so thank you for listening.